I want to raise the issue today around the government's failure to protect subcontractors, particularly in light of the Carillion collapse. It's very obvious that the government could have, under the EU Directive 7.3 of the Directive of 2014/24/EU. This provides for subcontractors to get paid directly by the contracting authority, and the failure of the government to include this in Irish legislation when the directive was transposed into law is utterly negligent. This combined with its failure to carry out a proper due diligence when selecting the main contractor during the procurement process means that it now cannot ignore the plight of these subcontractors who are left without payment for the work that they've carried out and the equipment that they have supplied to schools. And many of these businesses, and it's over 60 in total, have been robbed of around €14 million. And their businesses are hugely at risk, and there's hundreds of jobs at risk across the country because those protections weren't there. So questions need to be answered as to why the Irish government did not include the provision for subcontractors to get paid directly by the contracting authority when that directive was transposed. Were they not concerned about the risk to these businesses which form the backbone of our economy and the hundreds of job losses that arise from it? Furthermore, I do believe that the Irish government must look to formally hold the auditing company of Carillion, which was KPMG, to account when assessing the company as being financially suitable, because the accounts were signed off on and endorsed by KPMG, and they certainly have questions to answer. But it's the Irish government that need to ensure that those questions are answered. We cannot face into September where we have schools, where we are expecting students to sit on equipment and to sit in buildings, and teachers and parents as well, where the equipment hasn't been paid for. So the Department of Education, the NDFA and the government have to ensure that payment has been made for outstanding equipment and for the buildings, and the certification of the works to meet the building regulations must involve those who've carried out this work. So there are many things. I don't think we should be putting students and parents and teachers in that predicament, and not least the businesses who are threatened by not being protected by this government in the first instance. Thank you, Carillion.
Thank you, Senator.